Well, Steve, it looks like you're ready to go.
All right.
Okay, well, first I want to thank Dr. Melton for joining us, and I need for you to know, Steve, that this is beyond the call of duty. Professors get no credit in any way for participating in these defenses.
We do it for the love.
So,
Thank you. I guess that's what you do.
So I just want to get that on the record, and I'm sure Steve appreciates Dr. Melton taking some time out of a pretty busy schedule here at the first of the year to get this done and get under the wire, which is what we're trying to do.
Thank you for all of this, yes.
Steve, as you know, we've talked about this. You begin with a PowerPoint, about 15 minutes, give or take.
Okay.
Then Dr. Melton will ask you some questions about your study.
Okay.
And this is a defense, so you're expected to be able to. And I always say I don't like the term defense. To me, I would call it more of explaining your work, what you did, in answer to questions. I'd call it more of a press conference than a defense, maybe.
Okay.
But at any rate, the name of it is a defense. But the expectation is you'll be asked questions, and you will give a response as to why you approach the work in a certain way, or whatever the question may be. Okay?
Okay.
At the end of that, then, when the defense is over, Dr. Melton's asked hers, I've asked mine, then we will excuse you for a few minutes while Dr. Melton and I confer about your defense and your work. You'll come back. We'll doubtless have some suggestions about things we would like to see, altered or in some way, and you will make those alterations when you get back to your home, and send those both to me and the associate dean, and I will tell you where her address is at the proper time. So that's sort of the sequence. That's what's going to happen, and you are on.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, the study is called a study of the utilization of the Harvard Group Scale of Hypnotic Suggestibility Form A, and that's in the appendix of the study, if you have that. So what's going on is that there's a form that's been developed to figure out how suggestible people are, and suggestibility means how likely they are to follow a command given to them. Stop smoking, or when we do academic research, it's do better in school. Of course, we say it in a more clever way than that, and a much longer way than that. We relax them before saying that, but basically that's what suggestibility is. How will someone respond to a suggestion that's given to them while they're in a state of hypnosis? So I think it's important for me to talk a little bit about what hypnosis is. It's just a relaxed state of mind that you're in, and you go in and out of it every day. When you go to read a book or watch TV or drive, any time when you're not fully aware you're in hypnosis, you're in a hypnotic state. So we can use that state successfully in helping people, and this Harvard Group Scale is designed to figure out who would be the best candidate to benefit from suggestibility. So there are a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis. People think you can go into a coma and not come out, and of course that's not true. You just wake up at the end of a hypnosis session. People think that you're under the control in a zombie-like manner of the hypnotist, so they can have you do anything they want you to do, and that's not true either. There are a lot of advantages to hypnosis. A lot of them are covered in the research that I've outlined, but just to kind of sum it up for you, hypnosis has, and we'll get into a little bit more detail in the lit review, but hypnosis has a lot of advantages. It can help motivation, it can help actually improve grades. As we'll see, it can help improve IQ scores, shockingly enough, and it can also just help people overcome things that they want to overcome. So the HGSHA talks about levels of suggestibility. How likely is it that someone will be amenable to this? How likely is it that they will be a good candidate for hypnosis? Obviously, you mention hypnosis anywhere, there's going to be controversy. People have controversy. The IRB had controversy. I think that's what made this 3-month class into a 9-month class. So there's always controversy.
I meant to mention that incidentally, but I've sort of kept Dr. Melton informed. So
well, and
she's
Dr.
well,
Peterson has kept me in the loop too.
Yeah.
So
she's well informed about the trials and tribulations.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Learning experience.
There you
For
go.
all of us.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Absolutely. It's an endurance test. I appreciate everybody sticking in there. The controversy, aside from the IRB controversy, has been going on for quite a long time. It seems that every field that uses hypnotherapy, psychiatrists use hypnotherapy, teachers sometimes will use a little bit of hypnotherapy with their students. Anytime you involve hypnosis or hypnotherapy into the equation, no matter how professional the profession is, there's controversy. So we just ran into that, and that was expected, of course. Trance is what we're talking about when we talk about hypnosis, and that's the state that allows the person to feel relaxed, even if they're experiencing something that usually causes discomfort. And what Havens and Walters meant by that is that, let's say, for example, you're trying to overcome something. You're trying to overcome a fear of elevators. Normally, if you were in an elevator or thinking about being in an elevator, you would be very worked up about it. You'd be showing visible signs of being afraid and being concerned. Well, with hypnosis or hypnotherapy, which is the therapeutic version of hypnosis, you can be very comfortable even while focusing on something that normally wouldn't cause you to be comfortable at all. In fact, would cause you to be very, very concerned. So that is the beauty of trance. You can kind of bypass all of that. Everyone can be relaxed the whole time, and you can get a lot more done. It can also help with, I'll get into a little bit of this, but it can also help with creating new associations. We talk a lot about new associations. If you're relaxed and thinking about being in an elevator, next time you're in an elevator, you will be more likely to be relaxed. So that's the beauty of trance and the association you can cause. So trance is just a relaxed state of mind that has some therapeutic values. Hypnosis has been used for smoking cessation. In one study, there are numerous studies, but in one study by Lynn and Kirsch, people undergoing hypnotherapy were able to stop smoking more easily than people who used no treatment at all. This is just one of many studies that shows that hypnosis has a use in smoking cessation. And that's just one thing I picked. Of course, there's numerous uses. We also see that Carice, I believe it's pronounced, found that it's helpful in managing stress. SAP worked with students in reducing test anxiety and found that to be helpful in '96. And Lingenfelter found that it can raise IQ scores. And that seems kind of odd when you look at it. How can you raise someone's IQ scores? Well, if you look at the wording, we're talking about IQ scores. We're not talking about raising their IQ. So it turns out that it's just a test-taking skill. If you can be relaxed, you can take a test better. If you can be relaxed on an IQ test, you can take the IQ test better. So your scores can go up as a byproduct of hypnosis. So suggestibility, I already talked about that a little bit, but it's just the level at which you can go to hypnotic trance. Suggestibility scales are very helpful, or so I thought before doing this research. It turns out that maybe they're not as helpful or not thought of as being as helpful, but we'll get into that in a little bit. The suggestibility scales are just scales, as I mentioned, that help you determine how suggestible someone is. And so the HGHSA is useful in helping people do this, I thought, by helping the hypnotherapist determine beforehand how suggestible the person is, and then going from there. How deeply we need to take them. Maybe they go immediately into trance because they're very suggestible. So I thought that it would be a helpful tool because that's what it's been designed to do. It's been the tool for 30 plus years now, and so that was the idea. Just how helpful is this thing? We find out. Other uses of hypnosis helps in meeting goals, imagery and visualization. Something called practice imagery is made very easy with hypnosis. Practice imagery just means imagining yourself practicing something.